Hey loves, it's So Fresh Diamond. Today's video is a little different than the usual videos you guys are used to seeing. I am here to talk to you guys about makeup brushes. Face makeup brushes. So let's go ahead and begin. First off, let me say this. I am not an expert when it comes to makeup brushes, but these are just my makeup brushes that I have fallen in love with and that I feel like works good with me. So I wanted to come on here and share with you guys my favorite makeup brushes. Now, okay, I keep all of my face makeup brushes in this cute little organizer. If you're interested in a vanity makeup tour, of course the link will be below in the info bar, but this is how I store my makeup brushes. Excuse, some of them are dirty. I cleaned all my brushes yesterday. I cleaned all of my brushes actually once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on how frequently I use my makeup brushes. I really only apply makeup on the weekend and when I'm coming on here to do videos for you guys. So I'm going to try to go through this video for you guys kind of fast because I don't want it to be too long, but I also want to be informative so you guys can make the best decision when it comes to selecting makeup brushes. Now, I personally believe in quality brushes. I know that there are some brushes out there that are dirt cheap. I know you can get some brushes from Walmart, Target, Marshalls, TJ Maxx. Brushes are sold anywhere. However, I feel like sometimes when you go the cheap route, you don't get the best results when using cheap brushes. At the beginning of my makeup journey, I did have cheap brushes. I went to Walmart and I picked up a brush set, and at the time I felt like that was perfectly fine. It worked fine with me. It blended everything. But once I was able to get my hand on better quality brushes, I could instantly tell a difference from just how they felt to how they blended, from the type of hairs used on the brush, everything. I could tell a difference. So you do whatever fits your budget, and you know, eventually if you can, try to get better quality brushes. That doesn't mean you have to go out here and spend $100 on brushes, on one brush, but you do want to get some good quality brushes. But at the beginning, when I was adventuring into makeup brushes, I did a lot of research on Sigma brushes, and a lot of individuals stated that Sigma brushes are very comparable to MAC brushes, but half the price. So at the beginning I got a couple of MAC brushes, but then once I was able to compare the two, I decided to roll with Sigma because it was a lot more cheaper and the brush quality, in my opinion, is still the same. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to go ahead and start off with foundation brushes. Alright loves, so I have chosen quite a few foundation brushes, but I actually use a lot of these brushes. Some of these brushes work better with different types of foundation and some work good with BB cream. So I'm just going to share that with you guys today as well. I'm going to start off with my Sigma brush. Now, of course, if you have done your research on makeup brushes, which I strongly recommend, you have heard about the Sigma F80 flat top kabuki brush. I simply love this brush. It is amazing. It also comes in a set, and these brushes also can be sold individually, but it comes in a brush set of all kabuki brushes that look like this, and they all have different shapes and different forms. So getting back into that, now this is the flat top F80 kabuki brush, and as you can see, it's very dense. It has a flat top on it. Excuse it, it is dirty. I just used it for this makeup tutorial, so sorry. And it is made out of synthetic hair. With synthetic brushes, what happens is when you use your foundation, the product sits on top of the brush. Meaning once you apply the foundation to your face, you're getting the exact, well, not the exact amount, but you are getting most of your product on your face instead of the product being absorbed into the hair brushes. Another thing I like about the flat top kabuki is it is a buffering brush as well. Now this is also going to give you I think more like a dewy finish. It's going to give you more of a natural finish. This foundation can be used for a full coverage look as well as a sheer coverage look. This is my go-to foundation brush. This is the Real Technique buffing brush. Now I actually like this brush better for like BB creams and when I'm not really going for a full coverage look. It reminds me of the Sigma F82. This comes in a set as stated at the beginning, and this is just an individual. You can find these brushes like at Ulta or the Real Technique websites. I'm pretty sure other places have them, but I'm not sure of where they are. But as you can see, they look very similar to each other, both round topped. It is up to you. You can definitely use this for a foundation if you would like, but I don't like it for a foundation. I like it better for BB creams because it buffs out a lot better. And it also is smaller, so it allows you to get into like the little smaller, hard to reach areas. So these are my duo fiber makeup brushes. This is the Sigma F50 and this is the MAC 107. They look like this. And I think the MAC 107 has goat hair and synthetic hair. And as you can see, it's kind of funky. Like, it has the black hair, which I think is a synthetic hair at the bottom, and then it sticks out with the goat hair at the top. MAC and the Sigma look very, very similar, except for the Sigma handle is a lot longer and the MAC handle is shorter. And it also looks like the Sigma brush has a little bit more hair in it compared to the MAC, which is a little bit more dense than the Sigma one. I have had an opportunity to use both of these brushes, these two brushes. They were my first purchases from Sigma and MAC. Now, when you get these stippling brushes, I like to call them, you can use these brushes for several different things. You can use it for liquid foundation, powder foundation. You can also use it for blush and bronzer. But with a stippling brush, you have to be kind of careful because it can give you a streaky look if you don't know how to properly use these brushes. So it's best to pat the brush on the back of your hand, stipple it on your face, and then buff it out. This is for girls who want that light sheer coverage. For my girls who really don't need to wear foundation but wants, you know, more like an even skin tone, this type of brush or a stippling brush would be perfect for you because it's not going to give you that full coverage look. It's going to give you a really natural sheer look. I did use these at the beginning, like I said, but I will use these every now and then when I am just on the go somewhere and really don't want to look like I have on foundation but want to have on foundation. So I like using these two brushes. Now my favorite is probably the MAC 107 just because it doesn't shed as much as the Sigma F50, but they're both great brushes. One is just a little bit cheaper than the other. And last but not least, I picked up this brush maybe about 2 months ago and actually fell in love with it. I never would have thought that I would like a Sephora brush. I mean, their brushes just don't look that good to me, but I did decide to pick up the Sephora brush, and this is the Pro Stippling Brush in number 41. You guys have seen me use this brush in a tutorial. A lot of these brushes that I'm showing you guys I have also used in a tutorial, but I actually love this brush. Now I don't like it for BB creams because it's a little too thick or too full to do that. It's not going to allow me to blend out the product as well, but I do love this for using my Makeup Forever HD foundation. Love this brush for that foundation. However, when I'm using my, a lot of you guys ask me, am I still using my Smashbox foundation? I am still using that. I just use it when I'm going somewhere and I really want a matte finish that's going to last all day. But this brush does not work good with my Smashbox foundation, but I love it for my Makeup Forever foundation. It gives me a full coverage look. It also allows me to buff out my foundation and has it looking flawless. I absolutely love this brush. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels on the skin. I love how it has like a kabuki look, but also like a stippling brush look because you can see the little black hairs that translate into a white hair. So I do like that look, but I love using this brush for foundation and blending it out. It gives you just an amazing full coverage dewy look. Now these are Real Technique powder brushes. Of course you guys can research these brushes. They're very, very popular. I think they are pretty good for the price. Not a huge fan, but I do think they're good for the price. One thing that I do like about these brushes are they have the ability to stand on a flat surface on their own. Because it has a flat surface at the bottom, you can easily stand up the brush which I thought was neat. But this is the powder brush from Real Techniques. I do like this for applying powder. If I decide to use powder, you girls know I really don't care for powder. That's just an extra step on my face that would cause me to break out, so I stay away from powder. But if I do wear powder, I would use my Real Technique powder brush. And I also like to use their blush brush that looks like this. Now, these brushes don't shed as much, surprisingly, so they're actually pretty good. When I do wash them, I don't really get too much hair, but I love using this for blush, and that's it. At one point I was using this brush for applying all over powder, but that just didn't work out. I felt like I was using way more powder because the brush seems a little bit more smaller. And then also I like to use two other brushes depending on how I'm feeling. I like to use the MAC 168 brush. Now this has an angle to it, and I think this is maybe goat hair that this brush is used with, but I love using this for applying my blush, and blending out my blush. I also like using it for contouring, but sometimes with contouring it can be a little big, so I may not use it as often. And then this is the Sigma F05 brush, and it is a contouring brush. I don't like this brush for contouring. I like this brush for blending out my blush. I feel like it blends in really good with the contour and the blush. I really do like that effect. I like how small it is, so I'm able to really get in there and blend without blush being on my highlight and my contour line, so I really do like that. Now there's a couple of brushes I like to use when it comes to contouring, but some of them I'm still trying to master at using, but the most frequent one that I like to use is the MAC 159 brush. Now this one is kind of funky. It's like a stippling brush as well. It has the synthetic hair at the bottom and the white goat hair at the top. Now of course it doesn't look like that right now because I have used this for today's video, so it looks brown instead of white. But I love using this for contouring because it allows me to get that nice defined crease right there, and then once it's time to blend it out, you just simply flicker it up and down, and that's going to take away that harsh line look that this brush can give you. If you are too heavy-handed with this brush, you can pick up a lot of product which will not look good on the face. I have tried to use it for my nose, but I don't think that works out. Now a girl at the makeup counter told me I could use it for that, but I mean, I just feel like squeezing it, making it flatter is just a little bit too much for me. And she also told me that I could use this for applying my highlighters. Simply just squeeze the brush and apply above the cheekbone. To me, that's a little bit too much. I'd rather just buy a brush that's specifically for that, okay? What I like to use for contouring is the Sigma F35. Now this has like a tapered dome head, so you're actually, or pointed tapered dome, so you're actually able to get right there in that crease or in that cheekbone area and contour for your life. So I do like how this brush is made. I don't get much shedding from this brush. I don't really get much shedding from any of my Sigma brushes as much as I wash them, but they are good quality brushes. I haven't had any problems with them. Now this is my MAC F30. I like using this brush for applying my highlighter as well because it's so small. It allows you to concentrate on the area that you're trying to concentrate on. And my battery is about to go dead. I also like using this brush for blending out my concealer. It's so small. It's really easy to get under the eye and do what you need to do. It's really small. I've seen some girls use this for foundation. I don't get it because it's so small, but no, I wouldn't do that. I also like to use this for going back, concealing some little areas that may be peeking through my foundation. This is marvelous because it's so small. I also picked up the Sigma F86 Kabuki brush. I recently picked this up. It looks really similar to my Sephora 41 brush, but just a little bit smaller. I love using this for my under eye highlight. I love blending out my highlight with this. Usually I use my beauty blender, but as of lately I've been using this and I have fallen in love with it. I didn't understand at first when I saw the reviews like how girls could use this because it's so big, but I love for doing this and blending out my concealer flawless. Now, I've seen some girls use this for contouring. I think it's a little too big for contouring for me personally, but you definitely can use it for contouring. So it is a tapered kabuki brush. Another thing that I picked up recently was the Sigma Fan F90 brush. Now, I've seen quite a few people use this just for applying a highlighter, and I love it. It picks up just the right amount of product so you don't use too much product. And it also is very nice for buffing that out to give you a more natural finish. And that's all of my face makeup brushes. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video showing you guys some of my favorite makeup brushes and how I like to use my makeup brushes. I'll also come back on another video showing you guys some of my favorite eye brushes. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.